What's up, guys? It's Eric. What is the difference between a psych ward and a mental health recovery center? I'm going to explain to you the differences because I don't work in a psych ward, but I do work with Renewal Recovery, which is a mental health dual diagnosis recovery center. And there are huge differences between the two. So I want to share with you exactly what those differences are. If you're new to my channel, hit the like and subscribe button. I am not a doctor, I'm not a counselor, I'm not a therapist, I'm none of that. I am diagnosed with ADHD, PTSD, GAD, and MDD. I lost a wife and a father to suicide. I'm a recovering cocaine and alcoholic addict. I've self-harmed before, I've attempted suicide before, I see a therapist, I take meds. And you know what? I just don't want anyone to go through it alone. So the big differences between a psych ward and a mental health rehab facility is this. So with a psych ward, it is all about protecting the patient. You are typically not at a psych ward because you have voluntarily went. So that means no phone. That means limited on the times that you can take showers. You are surveillance 24/7. You're dictated what clothes you can wear. You're not going to have a bra if you're a woman. Your shoes are gone because they're there to also protect you. Now, when it comes to a recovery center like Renewal, they are a dual diagnosis. And what dual diagnosis means is it is mental health and it is addiction. Doesn't mean, though, that you can't go there if you're just diagnosed with BPD and you're diagnosed with DID. You can go there, or you're diagnosed with GAD and MDD. They're designed for that. Now, some of the residents there are also recovering addicts, though, too. Because let's face it, a lot of times when, just like with myself, when we are an addict, we do use addiction to help self-medicate the struggles that we're going through. So going to the psych ward, you're not allowed your phone. You're not allowed typically shoes with shoestrings. You're very, very blank walls. You're not going outside. You are surveillanced. You are checked in once by a doctor, checked out essentially twice by a doctor. There may be some therapy sessions along the way, depending on how long you're there for. The nurses are there to help you, to help make sure that you're taking the meds when you're taking them, to make sure that you're not hoarding the meds. There's a lot that goes on. It is a very kind of prison environment versus a rehab recovery center like Renewal that is designed around mental health is more like a house environment. And the reason is this: at a psych ward, it's not voluntary. At this, it is voluntary. In fact, you have to have insurance to be able to get into there, which is one of the difficult things because unfortunately the way that things are ran, we're not given sometimes some of the services that we per se should. But if you go there, you're going there because you want to go there. So you are allowed to keep your phone. You're allowed to wear your tennis shoes. You have multiple blankets. You are watched over, and you do have nurses on site 24/7, but it's not one of those that you are constantly done bed checks on. You are given some freedom. You are given the ability to go outside, and you are constantly doing groups. Your days there actually are very filled with groups. Instead of being at a psych ward where pretty much you're stuck with your thoughts, maybe watching the TV, talking to others, playing cards, who knows what. And at this, you're actually more engaged with therapy and with therapists. There is on-site therapists, so you do meet constantly with a psychologist to get your different diagnoses and to start working through things to help. Here are the coping tools to setting boundaries. Here are coping tools to setting goals. It's very, very hands-on. You even get to, go out and you can leave to go on a walk. You have to check in and out. And you also even go and do things as a group to help kind of slowly break you back through, especially if you struggle heavily with anxiety. I do group sessions at ours on Sunday nights. And you are given that freedom. But again, it's one of those big things that you want to be there. You are seeking help. You typically don't check yourself into something unless you're truly seeking the help. Very few people do themselves just check themselves into a psych ward. If you do check yourself into a psych ward, you will get the help that you need because you're a little bit more hands-on. You're there because you want to be there. And so whenever you truly want to do something, you're going to get the biggest benefit out of it. But these two vary so much in those different areas. As somebody, if you are there and you do become heavily suicidal, they will end up actually taking you to a different facility that is more of a psych ward to get you the intense help that you need. Versus what they're going to offer you at a recovery center because it is a little bit more of a lax environment. You're given silverware. You can use, knives to cut your food up with, and they're metal. So it's not like you're being locked down as much as you are in a psych ward. Even to the things that, there are no time showers, anything like that. And a lot of things go at your pace. One of the nice things also too is even there, if you are struggling, You do have the different nurses that you can talk to. They do make sure that you're taking your meds at the correct time. You're able to voice up and vocalize a little bit easier if the meds aren't working for you, because even when it comes to medication, it is trial and error to find out what works for you. Zoloft, for example, worked great for me, but it made me extremely tired. Prozac made me suicidal. Lexapro made me suicidal. So, I mean, there's a lot of trial and error when it comes to SSRIs, which are those strong antidepressants. And there you have therapists that you can ask the questions to, you can talk to about, and you can truly get them the help that you need. And you end up finding different coping techniques. I mean, one of the biggest ones that actually shocked me being there is how many people there actually end up picking up coloring and drawing, because it is very therapeutic. You're actively engaged in something, so you're staying out of your thoughts. It's easier to not fidget. It's easier to not dwell as you're doing something. And it's amazing, because I always talk to people when I see them there of like, hey, so how do you like the drawing in the sticker books and stuff? They're like, we love it. And I mean, these are grown ass adults going, we love it. And I don't blame them, because I've started using them because it makes a difference. I mean, that's how amazing it is. But again, there are these big differences. So when you are checking in, you got to remember that, no, not going to psych ward, no straitjackets, none of that. Yep, you are put on a routine. And the whole reason, even at a psych ward and at a mental health facility like this, there are set times that you wake up, set times for bed, set times for meals, is to get you on a routine. There's a lot of mentality behind routines. And the whole mentality behind that routine is we find comfort and structure, believe it or not. If you know what's planned out for you for the day, it's a lot easier, and it kills a lot of that anxiety of that constant unknown. When things aren't in the unknown for us and they're the known, makes it that much easier to work through each and every single day. So you know what therapy sessions you are going to, you know what groups you're doing, and what's planned out for you to the day, and you even know when you have some free time to make the most of it. But you do have connection with the outer world. You can have visitors at the mental health recovery, and they can take you out for meals. They can take you out for the day. You can go shopping with them, what have you, and truly get the help that you need. Again, it's trial and error to find out what works for you. And it comes down to what works best for you. It's not for everybody. And especially if you're going to a rehab facility like that, you have to want it bad enough. You have to have some set, clear goals of what you're trying to accomplish, because you got 30 days as an inpatient. You got to make the most of it. I mean, you are given the opportunity for 30 days of constant contact with therapists, with counselors, to find the tools that you need. But if you don't have a clear vision of what you want to accomplish when you leave, it does make things a little bit more difficult. So one of the things I always tell people is, hey, if you are going into a voluntary psych ward, or you're going into a voluntary inpatient rehab for mental health, have the goals in place and in your head of what you want to accomplish, so you achieve those and you get the most out of them, so that you don't get done with them. You don't feel like you're a failure. You don't beat yourself up and go, well, this was pointless. Apparently I'm a lost cause, because you are not a lost cause. You're an amazing human being. You got to remember that. But these are what those big differences truly are. So again, if you're curious even about what it's like going to this kind of a recovery center, I do have the link down below. I have it pinned in the comments section, and you can even check them out. I'm a firm believer in them, because that they do care about people. And well, I'm there and I get to see hands-on what goes on. I mean, yes, you are surveillance 24/7, but you know what? It's not that lockdown. And it's amazing to see the transformation of people and the people that I've met there, because they come in and you can tell that they're going through some deep shit. And man, after 4 weeks, it's pretty funny, because they're like, yeah, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. And it's awesome to see that actually happen. If you haven't hit the like and subscribe button, hit the like and subscribe button. I'd love to have you comment down below. I'd love to know your thoughts and input on this. I'd love to know, if you've ever been to one of these before and what you've experienced with it. If you click the description box, I have links to all my different social medias when it comes to anything that I do of reaching out or for support. Even have links down below to the mental health Discord communities for peer-to-peer support. Because you know what, just having that support, knowing that we're not alone, knowing that it's okay, does so much for us. Have links below to things on Amazon like fidget cubes, fidget spinners, things that I use to help ground myself. Even have a link down below to BetterHelp. I mean, again, trial and error to find out what works for you. Have a link down below to Renewal. Never, ever, ever give up. And if you haven't hit the like and subscribe button, hit the like and subscribe button. Remember that you're a badass motherfucker. You made it through 100% of your worst days and make it through 2 today. And you got this.